So I've been marketing care homes now for over 7 years. I've spent, millions of pounds on marketing, whether it's through flyers or AdWords or newspaper adverts, direct marketing, events, stores, social media, radio. I've done absolutely everything. And throughout that time, I can definitely identify some really easy wins. I think so many people either don't do anywhere near enough or they really overcomplicate it and you spend money the wrong way. So I had a really good call with my AdWords company a couple of days ago, and so they I have a bi-weekly call with them. That's probably our main source of inquiries other than word of mouth. It's generally through the website, and it's not necessarily our we don't spend the most money on AdWords, but it's definitely the best return, and you're always going to receive a huge amount of value from a pay-per-click campaign. So what we discussed on the call was the last year's analytical data. Now about, I think it was probably in about May, we used this tool called What Converts and joined it up to our website, which then generated phone numbers on the website, which is such a winner. It's a really easy win, What Converts. It's a very easy way to track your inquiries. It listens to the phone calls through Google. It basically sends you a daily update and you can go through all of the inquiries you've had and you mark them as either a lead or not a lead. And of course you get calls that aren't actually sales related because someone could just type in, say, Stratton Court Care Home, Cirencester, or whatever care home it is, King's Lodge Camberley Care Home, and that they'll click on the number and they'll give you a call. So you do have calls that obviously aren't sales related. However, you go through them and you manually click which ones are actually converted. So over the last year, we analysed all the data and it identified a few things. And one of the biggest things that it actually identified was that there was a breakdown in real-time information in terms of inquiries. Now, that is really important. So obviously what had been happening was someone was calling the home or inquiring via our website, and the receptionist or the front of house team or perhaps a salesperson wasn't necessarily accurately recording the source of that inquiry. And that could have been for a number of reasons. It could have been that they've downloaded a brochure from the website and the person that downloaded the brochure put the wrong source. But what was happening, there's lots of different versions of how that can happen. But what was actually essentially happening was we had this fantastic tool, What Converts, with accurate data because it was tracking people from the second that they went on to Google and typed in, care homes wherever, and then would track that person's click through to the website. Then it would track their journey. It would then track when they phoned the number. It would then track what time of form they used from the website. And it would then have that historical data. So we looked at all of the conversions through 2024 and married them up against our recorded data on site from the care homes and the sources we were recording. And there was quite a bit of a mismatch. Now, that is going to happen. It is going to happen, and it is almost impossible to always have the exact location of that inquiry because people might see it in a newspaper and then they might click on a Google link, or they might hear about your care home from a friend or someone that they know, and then they might search on Google again, care home Cirencester and click so, or click on your link and go through to the website. So you are going to have mismatch information, but what's important is that you do know where people are obviously inquiring from. And this was a really big lesson for us because in terms of how we're performing, in terms of our Google performance and in terms of our AdWords campaigns over the last year, we are outperforming all of our other homes by a huge amount in terms of impression share, like massively, almost 80 times more. So we're performing very, very well in terms of our Google conversions, our paid campaigns, and how our websites are looking generally. So the kind of story here is that you need to make sure that you're really in line with the tools you're using to gather inquiries, because you've got we have multiple ways that we record inquiries. One is through our reports that come through our reception team, one is through our CRM, and then obviously one is collected by the data through What Converts and on Google. So Google has its own conversion tracker. So it can get a bit complicated. However, the best manual way of doing it from my experience, and this is a recommendation for everybody, I encourage everybody to improve on their marketing, is tools that such as What Converts, because that for me has made it a lot easier because we're manually going on to What Converts, identifying the type of leads they are through the inquiry forms and through phone calls, and then we are updating that tool with accurate information. So we know that What Converts is going to be the most accurate in terms of where we can find our leads. And then from this now, we can now go back and have meetings with our front of house teams. We can have meetings with our sales teams, have meetings with our managers and say, look, the information that's being recorded isn't always accurate. It's really important that this information is accurate because this determines how we allocate our budget. So lesson is, make sure you're getting correct information fed through from the teams, and you need to make sure you're comparing that against any data you might have through accurate sources such as Google and what converts.